Hey guys, so I wanted to come to you today with something that is a little different for my channel. Obviously, I come to you and I talk to you about content creation strategy and content marketing strategy, and I do want to talk about that a little bit today. But this is my first video out in January, and usually in January I spend a lot of time talking about planning, how to plan your content for the year, how to plan your goals for the year. I always release my word of the year, which is coming in a video for you soon. But this one's a little different, and I just want to clue you in to how my 2021 is going. See how you guys are doing, do a little check-in, and let you know that creation during chaos is extremely difficult. And if you are in that space, or you're feeling like that you're in that space, it's okay. So there's not going to be fun editing or cool logo reveals or subscribe and like and share. I'm not even going to do that today. Just because this is so real. I obviously came to you guys without makeup on, no filter. I'm waiting in line to pick up my daughter from school. I am in the middle of moving, so you can see there's like a bike in the back of my truck. I don't even have a tripod for this one. So here we go. Let's dive in. If you had an interesting 2020 and it was chaotic and it was hard and it was a lot of adjusting and pivoting, I salute you. You made it to 2021. I also did. I had a hard 2020 and I thought it was hard at the time. Actually, it wasn't. It was fine. But there was a lot of pivoting. Obviously, my business had to pivot quite a bit. I was already an online business, which was fine, but I had just launched my course for the first time in January of 2020. I was up on onboarding more coaching clients at the beginning of 2020, and I had to scale back how many I could take on after my kids were then home from school, and I had to take on homeschooling. We were in shelter in place in Ohio. Then we ended up moving in the middle of the year. So July came, we moved from Ohio to Florida, and sometime in September, October, we drove from Florida to California to get our stuff that had been in storage for 3 years, because we had moved from California and never went back. For various reasons. There's just never been enough childcare time-wise, because we had to be gone for like 6 days in order to do this trip. So every stars aligned for us to make that trip, and then we finally made it, which was great to finally get our stuff that we'd had in storage for so long. And then October we had Halloween, which was really weird. Let me know what you did for Halloween. Did you trick or treat? What happened? We did, but it was obviously social distance. The kids tried to work with that. Like all of these things. I got my daughter in a virtual school because that was just the safest option. She is in physical school now, but it was not only the safest option, but we were in a temporary living situation when we moved to Florida. We lived in someone else's home. They don't live there. It's one of their extra homes, and we were lucky enough to benefit from their blessings. And so it was always temporary. And during that time, we were looking for a house to buy because we had been without roots for 10 years. We had been moving around the country. As you can tell, we move a lot. And we're ready to put down roots. Our kids are just now getting into school. They're in kindergarten and preschool, so we're ready to put down roots. So during the fall, we were looking for a house. That's why we took the time to go get our stuff from California and find that place. During all of this, I went through several launches. I was adding more clients to my one-on-one program and my group program. So, business was kind of happening, but also it was very stressful trying to homeschool at the same time. And then December comes. We close on our house in the beginning of December. We found a home, and we wanted to do some minor renovations, which was completely new floors throughout. So we ripped out the carpet. We had new carpet installed in the bedrooms. Then we wanted to lay the floor ourselves. So we bought the flooring, started laying flooring, and then my mother, who has been living with us since March, she moved up to Ohio and then she moved back down with us to Florida, caught COVID. So we decided to keep everyone safe. The best thing to do would be to move into our half renovated house. We didn't want to move into a house that was being renovated because we had the luxury of having a place to stay. And so we moved into a half renovated house. Just dust everywhere, half like open boxes, but also we didn't have our stuff come until after Christmas because the pod, which is what we loaded up in Ohio, couldn't be delivered till after Christmas due to the holiday. So we didn't have things. We're kind of living out of suitcases on air mattresses because none of our furniture was there. I mean, it was chaotic. Christmas obviously was very unexpected. We didn't even have a tree because our tree was in the pod and we were expecting to have Christmas at the temporary living situation that we could no longer be in. Just due to safety reasons, we decided to move into our house. Are you overwhelmed yet? So I test positive for COVID the day after Christmas. And the reason I went to get a test is I thought we were doing a good job of staying away from my mom and trying to support her from afar. And I tested myself before Christmas. Once she found out, I also tested myself and I was negative. And then my symptoms started escalating. And so I tested positive the day after Christmas. And I spent all the things that I was working on in my business stopped. All the things I was working on in my personal life with my house, I couldn't do anymore. I was running out of breath very quickly. I needed to give my body rest so that I could actually get better, so that I could do things. And that's very frustrating for me. My personality is just go, 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 and I have a hard time resting. I was a terrible pregnant person. I hated being pregnant because I couldn't do as much as I wanted to do. So now, it's Christmas, day after Christmas. I tested positive. I had to give my body time to heal. I did my best to quarantine away from my family. My kids ended up getting it. My husband is now feeling symptoms, but it took all the way until now in January to start having symptoms for him. And for us, with everything that's going on in the world, I feel like I never got the closure that I needed of the craziness of 2020. And if you're like that, let me know. Please let me know if you feel the same way, because I feel very lost. Normally, at the end of a year, I am extremely motivated. I've already picked my word of the year. I already have my content plan for the year because I do that really far in advance. But it's almost like the other stuff, like the personal stuff. I feel like I didn't get closure for 2020 and how crazy of a year that was. But even if it wasn't a crazy year, I feel like I didn't get closure from last year because I didn't have Christmas and I didn't get New Year's. I was very sick on New Year's. And I feel like I'm still in 2020. So that motivation to get moving on things is very hard for me in this moment. So if you're feeling that, I want to give you encouragement that even if your life doesn't sound as crazy as mine, or if it's even more crazy than mine, if you had the craziest end of the year into January, and it is January 7th, January 6th was a lot to handle for the entire country in the United States. It is extremely hard for me to process what happened at the Capitol. On top of, that's the day that, so this was yesterday, I don't know when you're watching this, but for me it was yesterday, and my mom had a heart attack and is in the hospital currently in the ICU. So it feels like my life is extremely chaotic right now, And so when it comes to business, I take my business very seriously. I take my family very seriously. And there are things I do my best to always include. But in this moment, it is extremely hard for me to even fathom trying to create right now. And so even if you are not in a place where you have a family member in the hospital, or you had COVID, or whatever, there's chaos in the world. There's chaos in the United States for sure. We're still dealing with coronavirus all over the world. And so no matter where you are, there's still all this chaos, and it can be very hard to find that motivation, especially if you feel like I do. Like I didn't get that closure from the last year and that boost of motivation for the next year. And that's very unlike me. I'm usually planning pretty far in advance for my whole life. And while I did with my content, I didn't with my life. I just never felt that urge. And I think it's because the chaos going on in my life right now. And so I just want to encourage you that if you're feeling in that place, it's okay. It's okay. I think we need to give ourselves grace for the year that passed, the year that's already starting, and hope, God, I hope very, very hard right now that we're getting the crazies out in the beginning of the year. But if you are lacking motivation and you want some encouragement, I have to tell you that my personality, my drive, my mission in life is to help others. And how I do that is with my coaching, and I would love to support you. So if you're feeling like this tumultuous stuff is going on in your life, like me, let's lean on each other. Feel free to comment below. Let me know what's going on with you and how I can support you. If it's something with your business and your content marketing or your content creation, you just can't get it under control, let me help you. This would help me. It would help me to help you, because I would have you as a focus. And I have my clients right now that are so patient with me and wonderful, who obviously know what's going on in my life, and they give me joy and purpose right now in the storm, So I love being able to have a focus outside of what's happening, and when I'm able to help people, it helps me be a better person and have more focus in my life. And like I said, an anchor in my life. So if you're feeling that way and you need a little support, I'm raising my hand. Let me help you, because it would help me if I could help you. And give yourself grace. Give yourself a moment to mourn what happened last year, even if it was good. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, 2020 was crazy and lots of pivots, but it was a good year, especially for business for me. I got some awesome adventures with my family and extra time with my family, and bought a house. And so, yeah, I had a great 2020. So I'm not going to lie, that there was a lot of great things that happened in 2020, and you may feel that too. There was great things, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a roller coaster of a year for all of us. And so if you're feeling that weight, or maybe just that you're not ready, you don't feel like you've given yourself the ability to move on, I get it. I'm with you. I'm with you. So this was a rambling video, and I apologize for that. But all that to say that I love you guys, and I am here for you guys. And normally my content in January is all about this positive goal setting, go for it. And I felt disingenuous with the videos that I created for you guys to go out without explaining where I was. So if you haven't seen me on Instagram lately, or here on YouTube, or Facebook or anything, this is why. Chaos is happening in my personal life, and I still want to support you. I want to be here for you, but I also want to be real with you guys. I want to tell you what's going on and that you're not alone, and it's okay. It's okay to not feel ready to move on if you feel like you didn't get that closure. I get it. And I'm here for you. So here's to getting the crazies out and having an amazing 2021. I promise you there's going to be more content on my channel very soon that I've already planned out for you guys that's a little more uplifting and more on point, but I felt like I needed to address not only what's going on in my own life, but stuff that's going on in the world before I put that out. And I think I owe it to you guys to be as authentic and genuine and show up for you guys exactly where I am. And the best way to do that is to show up for you guys without even putting on makeup and telling you guys what's going on in my life. So sorry for the rambling. I love you guys, and I hope you're in amazing health, and you do have big plans, and I do too. I have my goals that I'm really excited about in my business, and I can't wait to share them with you. So that is coming soon in a video. And yeah, if we're not already friends, make sure to follow me on Instagram and join the Facebook group, and let's chat more. Okay? All right, I think that's a good place to end it.